Well, today's Monday, it's the 6th of February 2023, and I'm on my own. Anita's gone for another gym class, and so I thought I'd do a little walk around our village, which is called Genova, and what better place to start than Esreco de Genova. Esreco de Genova is one of our favourite places to go to for a menu del dia, and it changes every week. So this is a weekly menu, and they have 3 plates. So there's a starters, which is either paella ciega, one of my favourites. There's a soup, there's cannellones, they're all starters. And then you can have a sirloin of pork sirloin with a Roquefort sauce, or a fish sauce, or some with gambas. Or there's a stew as well. So 3 different really good choices for the main course. And then you've different sorts of postres as well. The water, the wine, they're all included, €17.70. And that includes a coffee as well. You can really get better than that. But I'm going to just carry on down the hill here, and I'll show you where the car park is, just in case you fancy coming up to Genova. Because the car park isn't the car park that's actually right next to the restaurant. The one right by the restaurant is actually to the caves, and the caves people sometimes get a little bit annoyed if you park in the wrong car park. So do get that right, because it's only a little short walk just to the bottom of the road, and then you've got the car park to Esreco. It's a very windy day, really blustery out here, and it's temperature's gone cold again. You can see the sky has got lots of clouds in them. So there's the car park. It's quite a big car park, so plenty of space in there. And on the opposite corner to that, another of our favourite restaurants. This is Cana Joana, and it's one we go to quite often. It's one which we use for the Masons as well. So we have our Masonic dinners there too, and they too have a really big car park. So this is the car park here to Cana Joana. Plenty of space there. I don't think I've ever seen that full. And it'd be quite full, the restaurant would be, if it was. The car park itself is interesting, because years ago when we first came here, that's where the first car boot sale is. I don't know, we're talking about 30 years ago. That's where the first ever car boot sale that I ever remember going to was recorded. That's an English style car boot sale. There is a Spanish flea market type thing, which I suppose is very similar. And this is the main road that I'm walking up now, which is through Genova. I'd like to say it's a quiet, sleepy village, but there's lots of construction work going on at the moment, and so it's a bit noisy in parts. And I'm not sure about these clouds. I haven't bought an umbrella, but I have got my hat on, so we'll see. So there's houses to the right, some of them modern, some of them very modern, but some of them, most of them I suppose, have been here for a long time. A bar that keeps changing, and has changed again recently. This is called Legacy. We've not actually been to Legacy. It calls itself a restaurant, bar, shisha lounge. I'm not convinced it's the sort of place we would go to anyway, so probably won't be reporting back from there. And one thing about this road is there is no room for pavement, so you take your life in your hands when you're actually walking up here. And here's one of my buses. This is the bus number 47, which I catch when I'm coming home from Palma. So I think I can get the 46 or the 47 when I go, but the 47 is definitely the best one for me to come back on, because it goes via Sondureta. The other one, Anita used the other day, the number 46, and it took her an hour to get home. Okay, if you're not in a rush, but it's a long time. 47 takes about 30 minutes. Just in front we've got the church. We are only a small village, but we've got a huge church, just like many of the villages in Palma. And here it might be wise to cross over, because the road's a bit twisty, and cars do sometimes go around there and quite quickly. And there is a little bit of a pavement here. The steps there take you up to the church. There's a square up there and the main medical centre. There's the bakery. I've come on a day when they're actually closed. So they're closed on a Monday, but Tuesday to Sunday they're open from 8 in the morning till 2 o'clock. And they sell lovely fresh bread and cakes and all the other pastry type things that go with that. Carry on up a little bit further. We don't have much in the way of shops, but this is the equivalent of our little supermarket. It is very small, but they do tend to be open for good hours. They're 9 till 2 and from 4 o'clock till 8 o'clock in the evening. They're their new hours, it says on the door. Moving over. We have a hairdresser's. I guess. Paper shop, come general store. And a little cafe here, popular with many of the residents in the area. We do have a shop here Anita might like. Around this corner, walking straight into the wind, so apologies for the effect it's having on the sound. The restaurante here, which actually goes all the way around the corner. It's quite a large restaurant, or used to be a large restaurant. It has been closed for more years than I care to remember. It's called Casa Thomas, or was called Casa Thomas. Had a swimming pool out at the back, and we used to come for menus, used to come for swimming lessons. Our children learnt to swim there, but sadly it closed, and well, it's been empty ever since. They do have a big car park. They did have when it was open. That car park is now used by another restaurant, Chimbomba, and it's also used by some of the people who live in this area. So up a few steps, we've got a little pathway which is a bit more secluded. So to show you the car park, and it's still got the old sign there saying terrace and piscina. That's the swimming pool. Really sad that that restaurant went, because it was a good restaurant and the swimming pool was really good. I think part of the problem was that the swimming pool sprung a leak and it was going to cost too much to repair. So with the swimming pool out of action, the rest of the restaurant became less viable, because people used to come just to go to the restaurant and swimming pool at the same time. You see there's building work going on everywhere here. Amazing. And the reason I wanted to come down this way was because I said the car park was used by a restaurant called Chimbomba, and this is the entrance, or one of the entrances to Chimbomba. Closed now, of course. It's not even 11:30, but got a lovely garden, great in the summer, and a very curious inside. Well worth a visit. It's Italian, great pizzas and other Italian dishes. And this road, very narrow, brightly coloured house up there. I'm going to go down and go back down to the main road. Interesting, the wall in front, it's been repaired and remodelled over the years with just odd bits of tile here and odd bits of brick there. The steps to the left here, these take you up to Chimbomba as well, so you can get in that way. I'm now going to go down into the village, a bit more, well, out of the village really, just to point out a few other things. So the traffic lights on this end really mark the end of the village. It's quite a hilly place, so there's lots of steps like these that can take you to different parts. Particularly wanted to come down here to show the building on the right there in the corner. It used to be a bank, and now it's a club really for the elderly, for people who are retired like me, I suppose. And in front we've got Palma. On the corner in front there we've got a restaurant that's been closed for so many years, and it's changed hands, but I'm really not sure what's happening to that one. If I just turn around though, we can see what's happened to this one. This one has been demolished. It's gone completely. The ground's been completely flattened, and we just wait to see now what it's actually going to be turned into. This is where I go up. Just cross over. The big sign there that says Genova is a local primary school. And up there's another couple of restaurants, one called the Owl and the other one which is used to be Sacaseta. Sacaseta closed many years ago, but just as I was looking over a few moments ago, saw that there was some windows open and some people working inside, so very curious to see what's going on in there. And another restaurant while I'm here, just sheltering from the wind which is blowing a gale down there. This one's Casa Jacinto. Used to be in the middle of the village, had a very small restaurant, and then they had that one built across the road. We have been, I think, only once, many years ago, and I suppose the reason we don't go now is just it feels that little bit further away, and I suppose you'd think more of using the car. It's only a few metres further, but it's sort of psychological, I suppose. The door in front, which is number 4, well, that used to be Can Pedro. That was the original restaurant, which was referred to as Can Pedro. It's a big, long, narrow restaurant all the way back here. Oh, the wind. Whew. Had many a great meal there. But Can Pedro had another building built, which is just up the road, and I'll show you that. You might begin to hear the children playing in the playground. Genova's known a little bit as a town, village of restaurants. And here's yet another one, which is called La Rueda. And there's an interesting sign there now. This used to be the entrance, one of the entrances. Now you're being encouraged to go around. It's actually easier if you enter from the top. And this, I believe, is going to be their extension. Looks like they're going to have some parking down below, or something, not sure. And then maybe that's going to be more restaurant up there. Not sure. Clearly wait to investigate what's going on. The big car park on the right here goes all the way around here. It's got its own little barriers. Is one of the car parks to Can Pedro, Maison Can Pedro, which is the restaurant there. It's actually on 2 or 3 floors, so it's a really big restaurant, and one which is very popular, particularly in the summertime, but even at this time of the year you'd be wise to book. So building work is still in progress here. See a chap inside who's doing a little bit of plastering. It's going to be quite interesting when it's finished. I'm always assuming it's part of the restaurant. It could be a house, I suppose. This is La Rueda, and the other entrance. One we do particularly like. They do a particular dish which is referred to as number 23, and that's all we have. When we go there, we have number 23, and it's delicious. I'm just walking now. This is a one-way street that I'm going up now. Cars would be coming up behind me. I just mentioned Sacaseta. It's been closed for many years, but was a favourite of ours. And this is the entrance, or used to be the main entrance. It's a little bit overgrown, but it really is interesting to see people inside there doing some work. It doesn't look as though they got in this way. Across the road in that direction, there is a second car park to Can Pedro, and that road leads you up, and even more up until you get to Nabaguesa. That's the monument up there on the top of the hill. At the moment, the weather's been kind to me. And a few more clouds, but they seem to be quite high. Let's hope they can just stay like that. So it is a residential village. No hotels, no apartments to rent, holiday rent that is. but amazing views over Palma. The cars will come up here, and most of them will have to turn down to go and get back out, because if you don't, it's quite a long drive to get out of Genova. You can hear the beats of the drills drilling into the rocks here. It is a very rocky area, and you can see just here everything's just built on this rock. So foundations, well, I guess they're pretty solid. But where there's a jackhammer, there's construction work going on. So one of the purposes I do these videos for is just to see what changes there are over time. Oh, might get a bit noisy now. Going to be an amazingly big construction when it's done. Looks like there's some apartment building here is going to be demolished and something's going to be constructed behind. But too noisy for me to talk, so let's move on. Still some places here that are semi-derelict. This looks like one of them. Although it does look as though somebody's been doing some work, so maybe we're going to see some improvement on that. We'll keep our eyes open. Try and get away from the noise. I did say we're quite steep. Here's some more steps. Oh, there's just at the bottom of those steps there's a pharmacy and a bank, and the church is down there too. But as we get to an opening here, some steps that go down, more steps, start to appreciate the view. And here are the steps that go down, Calle Aguilla. And here we can just admire the fantastic views we've got over Palma. I can see an aeroplane coming into land. In the distance we've got Randa, which is near to Majorca. That's the Bay of Palma. Really quite a good viewing spot, and we're not at the highest yet. We didn't go up to Majorca, which is up behind us. The sea looks beautiful with the different shades, with the sun popping through the clouds. Onward and upward, so just gently now going up, still a little bit higher. I always, when I come past here, I think this is one of the there's actually a couple of them, but one of the car parks with a fantastic view. We'll go a little bit further up, and then we're going to circumnavigate the village. That's a good word, isn't it? So houses here, some of them must have really quite amazing views. There's my 2-kilometre marking. I can tell how many kilometres I've walked, never mind the steps. So, a few years ago, I used to do this every morning, this walk, actually slightly longer before I went to work. And it would take me about 40 minutes. And I would listen to a podcast on the way round. Well, I'm doing a shorter walk today, and it could still take me 40 minutes or more. We'll see. Getting a view now of some of the construction work that's going on here. Still a bit higher to go. You start to see some of the more modern buildings that have been built in the village. Watch out. Did feel quite cool when I came out. Certainly warming up now. Ah. We're getting nearly to the top of this road. No more ups, lots of downs. Not quite there yet. Another more modern building here on the left. Very box-like and concrete. I'm not sure at all about the modern architecture. See now, I used to get to this point in my walk, I used to think, that's nice, it's nice and level now. I've done all the ups, not quite. At least the wind's dropped off a bit here. We're on yellow alert for wind in some parts of the island. That's mainly in the north, but it did feel windy down below. Here's another one of these parking spaces with amazing views and more steps. Crazy. As you're walking along sometimes, you see the most unexpected of things. Look at these pair. Did you expect to see them? Don't look very happy, do they? Quite like them actually. And we're never far from the trees. They're all pine trees, and so they're green all the time, green all year round. So this part of the island, most of the island actually, looks green. Oh, bar the splash of pink in front of us. It's quite a splash of pink, isn't it? It's almost a country lane now. Right at the back of Palma, right at the top of Genova. Another little parking with hasn't actually got the same view because there's a block built in front of it. A little bit of up here. This could be the last pole before I get to the top. Nice walk though. I hope my puffing and panting's not too loud. No pain, no gain. Another new build that's incorporated some of the local stone. And we've got a choice now. I could take the shortcut and go down, or I could take the long cut and go up. We'll go up. On another occasion, I'll go down that way. No benches on this walk, I'm afraid. I've got a final little pull to get to the top here. I think I've done half a kilometre. God, must have been more than that. Ooh, I can see a new building. I'll show you in a minute. It's one of the, actually two new buildings over there. Some huge places, not sure what they are, whether they're apartments or whether they're houses. We'll find out eventually when they're finished. I'm astounded actually how much building work is going on in Genova that I've not actually noticed. It's just hidden a little bit around from where we live. There's one, and one down below as well. And, turning around a bit, there's even more building work. I don't know why I need to go to the gym. She just needs to do this walk more often. Certainly giving me a bit of an exercise. Try and get those steps in. So again, we've got a choice. We can go left or we can go right. Well, we're going to go right. And that really is the top. Just in front. We get another choice, a left or a right. And again, we're going to go, well, straight on effectively. So we could go that way, too much up there, or that way, too much up there. We're going to go down. Just enjoy the scenery as we go down. I think I might just take a minute to get my breath back. Prickly pear. And right in front of us we've got quite a nice valley, and that's all the way down here now, and it's all downhill, well, pretty much all downhill for the rest of my journey. I do have a little bit of an up at one point, but we'll come to that when we come to that. But I don't know, I just walking down here find it so peaceful and pretty. Just love looking at the mountains, the valley, nature, different sort of plants that we've got here. Never actually been down into that valley, always viewed it from up here. A prickly pear down there. It's actually got some prickly pears on, but I'm not sure whether they're gone past their sell-by date. Possibly. It really is a pretty walk down here now. And now we've got green on both sides. And you could be out in the middle of the country somewhere, but we're not. We're still actually in Palma, just on the outside, which makes Genova a very popular place to live. People who live and work in the city. It's just a short trip down. It was always great for us when we were working. We could just get to work in about 5 minutes. And that looks to me like a safe. Tree that's been blown down. We've had some really strong winds, and these trees don't really have very good roots because of the rocky terrain. They can't really penetrate very well. There's not very much soil at all, and so quite often we find the trees have been knocked down. There we've got the electricity cable, so it could be quite a nuisance for us. It's brought one of those down. The other danger of one of these trees being close by is in the summer when it gets very warm, very dry, is the forest fires. We've never really had any that have affected Genova since we've lived here, which is now more than 20 years. But they have got close to other places. I don't know if you can see in the distance, there is an area which is fairly clear. That's at the Bendy Nut side of things. Can't see it at the moment. But there is an area where you'd expect there to be trees and there are no trees. I'm guessing that was one of the places where we had a lot of forest fires a few years ago. It's always a curiosity here. It's this, looks as though it had a door on it at one time. It actually looks as though it might even be shaped inside, but I really don't know what it is. A little cave. But, there's a door, which is doorway. There's actually some remains of hinges and a lock of some sort as well, but really quite curious. I'm sure the children have been in, but not for me, I'm afraid. No. I'll just come over this side and enjoy the view. And now, even with my deaf ears, I can hear the traffic from the motorway. I can't see it through the trees at the moment. Probably will get a glimpse of it soon. But it's the motorway that takes you from Palma all the way through Palma Nova, back of Magaluf towards Santa Ponsa, Pagera, and eventually down towards Andratx. And now we do have a view of it. Another view of the motorway. Always busy, always lots of traffic. Seems to be more heading into Palma than there is heading out of Palma. As we come round here, we get a great view of the sea again. Just caught a glimpse of a ferry going out. It's just popped behind a tree. And in the summer months, when I used to walk down here early in the morning, you could just count how many planes were coming in every day. Every minute or two, there'd be another plane coming in or taking off. One's Baleares. It could be going, I suppose, to Ibiza that way. Could be going to Valencia, Denia, Barcelona. Oh, that just made me think of football. I forgot to mention, did I? Majorca played yesterday. What I suppose many would have said would have been their toughest match of the season. Home match would be against Real Madrid. And guess what? Majorca won. So we get 3 really golden points. Majorca get those points. Real Madrid obviously lost the 3 points. And that could really be a big problem for them if they're They wanted to get the title, I'm sure, and Barcelona now are actually moving ahead of them. So, but it adds that little bit of security and that unexpected win. I think most fans may have wished for a win, but little would actually have thought it was possible. But the goal came fairly early on, and it was a great cross by Dani Rodriguez, and to my eye it caught the head of Muriqi, who claimed the goal, but in the end it's gone down as an own goal. Muriqi was certainly involved and should really take much, if not all, of the credit for that goal, together with Dani, of course. Dani did the great cross. But the team as a whole seemed to be playing so much better than they have done over the last 3 games, where they've been a bit lacklustre. So it's been really good to see them back on form, and they just turned it on right at the correct time. Mallorca certainly didn't have all the play. In fact, they had a minuscule part of the play. You look at statistics, you think, why didn't Real Madrid win 4 or 5-0? Madrid had far more of the play, far more corners, far more passes, far more of everything really, except goals. They did get awarded a penalty, which I'm sure all the Majorca fans will say that wasn't a penalty, and the goalkeeper appeared to be fouled, and the referee chose to give a penalty. And former Majorca player, who was born on the island, Marco Asensio, went up to take the penalty, and like many of the penalty takers I've seen, particularly in the World Cup, they do this stutter. They're hoping to, I suppose, to send the goalkeeper the wrong way, or to just catch them off balance, but it didn't actually work this time, and Marco Asensio's goal was pushed wide, and so it was a celebration as though Mallorca had actually scored. And it was, in fact, Madrid didn't score. So that's great news for Mallorca. It didn't actually move us up at all, but we maintain our place, we maintain the goal, we maintain the points difference between us and those below us. So that's really hopefully lifted their spirits. From a fan's point of view, I would like to see more goals. Mallorca only ever seem to be 1-0 team. They very rarely score more than a goal in a match, and that's something I'd like to see, but I suppose we can't complain if we're getting the results that include 3 points, and it just means, for a Majorca supporter, we just want to be playing in La Liga next season. I don't think many of us have got the lofty heights of European football in our minds, but it would be nice to have the security that we don't need to worry about whether we got to play for our existence in La Liga. And we're mid-table, in fact pretty much exactly mid-table, we're 10th, and that's got to be good. It was actually a weekend of some upsets, and some of the teams below us also unexpectedly won, so pressure isn't completely off. In fact, that won't happen for a few more games, but I guess if we want to win another 4 or 5 games, then our security could be assured. always it could be, though, isn't it? The aim really has always been to get to 40 points, and I think most of the pundits seem to think that once you get to 40 points, that means your place in La Liga's secure. We're not there yet, and it doesn't actually mean that we're definitely there. So, see how we've walked around. There's Navegesa, one of these cranes that's doing all of the with so much building work going on, there's lots of trucks that keep going up and down these roads. Starting to feel the breeze again. That's really strange, isn't it? Getting down towards the bottom of the hill and we're starting to feel the breeze. Well, what we've actually done is a big circular path walk around Genova, and it's really quite a pretty walk. Always something to see. And I used to do it every morning. I always find something different to look at as I was walking along. And I did say that the ups and downs had finished. Well, this is probably the one that I meant that hadn't quite finished it. So I just got to walk up a little bit here, and then it's down again. But it's been quite nice walking down that hill, having gravity on my side for a change. See, just over there we've got an orange gas bottle. I have mentioned them in other videos. These orange gas bottles are what many people use to keep the house warm. For cooking, we actually do both. And we have a gas heater, and we do have that gas for warming the water for showers, hot water, and for cooking as well. And those gas bottles are delivered, and a van comes round 2 or 3 times a week, and you just exchange an empty for a full. And I think the last one we bought was about 17 euros, and it's the same bottle that's blue in the UK, and my daughters use them for the barbecues. They don't use them in the home, but they tell me they cost an arm and a leg in the UK. Here the price is capped by the government, and they set it for I think 2-month period, and it just went down after Christmas, so around about 17-18 euros. So it's actually a very cheap way to keep your home warm, relatively cheap. One of those gas bottles in the summer will last us 6 to 8 weeks or more. In the winter, when it's cold and we're using the heating every day, well, it lasts us at least a week, maybe more. A bit narrow for a 3-point turn, but here we go. He's obviously done it before. And off he goes. Buenas. It is a walk where you quite often see people out with their dogs. During COVID, people actually bought dogs so that they could take them for a walk. That was one of the reasons you could actually leave the house. Most people were confined, but people got dogs to take for a walk. I don't know what they did afterwards, hopefully nothing too cruel. Interesting house in front, which has got a white tower. And that's one of the interesting things of walking on this road, is that there's lots of different types of architecture, different looking buildings, from the ultra modern that we've seen to the more traditional, some that are just quite different. Those of you who do watch the walks know that usually at this point you start looking for somewhere to go for a coffee. Well, I don't think there's going to be anywhere today, but there are, unfortunately, no places on my little walk today where I can have a coffee, other than right at the beginning. And well, I'm not going to go back up there now. So it'll be home for me, and I can go and have a coffee at home. And just after 12, Anita will probably be returning from her gym class very, very soon. Well, as you can now probably see, I'm back to where we started. We're back to the restaurant Reco de Genova. So thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, wherever that might be. Bye for now. Bye.